welcome back. My name is Grayson and I'm so glad that you decided to click on. So today I wanted to do a devotion based off of Matthew 11:28. And it says, "Come to me all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." This verse is so beautiful because I don't know about you, but we all long for this sense of rest. We all long for this sense of finally being able to be rested, to just have rest. And we go through our life trying to look for that. We think, okay, I'm gonna find rest when I finally can go on that vacation, or I'm gonna find rest when I can finally achieve this, or when I can finally step back, when I can finally do this or that, when I finally can complete my to-do list or whatever it is, that we all long for rest. And we go through life trying to do those things, and we go to that vacation and we complete that goal, and we do a to-do list, or we step back from that and we realize we only experienced rest for a second, but then when we kept going, we felt weary and burdened again. And we go through life in this cycle of trying to find rest, and we never truly find it, and we become defeated. And the reality is, we question if rest is really a thing. And the thing is, rest is true, rest is real, but rest is only true and real when we find it in the one who created that desire in us. You see, God created a desire to have rest. And He didn't create that desire for the world to satisfy, but He created that desire for Him to satisfy. That we saw in that verse that God's saying, "Come to me who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." That God calls us to come to Him for rest. That God calls us to live in rest. And so the next question is, okay, God, how can I do that? And the real thing is just by being still in Him. We can choose to just be still and pursue Him. We can choose to read the Bible. We can choose to long after Him. We can choose to put Him in the center of our lives. That we can say, God, I'm going to choose to be still in You. God, even though everything around me is not perfect, Lord, even though my circumstances have not changed, Lord, I'm going to choose to be still in You. And we begin to put on that mindset and put on that attitude. He begins to satisfy. And when He begins to satisfy, we can live in the rest, because we're no longer burdened by what's around us, but all we can consume ourselves on is how amazing that our God is. That we can find rest in Him. We can also find rest in who He calls us to be and who we are in Christ. That so many times we go through life and again we long just to find our identity, to find our worth, and we go throughout and we try to look for the world to find it, but that never satisfies. And the reality is, not only can we find rest in God in our daily situations, but we can find rest in God in who He calls us to be and who He put on us. That God calls us, that when He died on the cross for us, He placed these beautiful names over us. He called us His son or His daughter. He called us loved. He called us wanted. He called us chosen. That He called us so many more things. And we can rest in that. We can know that, God, even though the world may be saying this about me, Lord, I can rest in the fact that what You did on the cross changes me, transforms me, and allows me to find rest in who You called me to be. And we can also find rest in the plan that He has for us. That God has a plan and a purpose distinctly for each and every single one of us. And that's so crazy, it's so amazing, because so many times we get so stressed up, we get so worried, okay, how is this gonna work? How is that gonna work? How is that gonna work? And God's calling us, hey, just rest in my plan I have for you. Just rest in what I have for you. That God's plan is greater than we can ever imagine. His plan is mightier. It's so amazing. There's a loss for words just how amazing His plan is. So I hope that encouraged you that you can find rest in God. The rest doesn't come from when situations are perfect, or when someone says this about you, or when plans are great, but rest ultimately comes in Him. And when we begin to be still and pursue, He begins to satisfy, which allows us to live lives full of His rest, His joy, His happiness, all because of what He did on the cross for you and me. So I hope that encouraged you just a little bit for your week. Bye, guys!